COVID-19 vaccines are not the only vaccination that will keep the community safe this season. I'm KIMT News 3's Alex Dieterer live with more on the accessibility of flu shots this season.
A mask mandate is in effect for the Med City. I'm KIMT News 3's Jessica Bringy, live with reaction for those who believe in the science and for those who don't.
New York City is now recommending businesses ask customers to show proof of vaccination. We have the latest from Mayor Bill de Blasio.
And it's been a warm and breezy day across the area. We're going to see more of that in the coming days, but we're also tracking some storm chances. A look at your 7-day forecast is coming up.
KIMT News 3, coverage you can count on. This is KIMT News 3 at 5.
And thanks so much for joining us for KIMT News 3 at 5. I'm George Mallet.
And I'm Amy Fleming.
Well, with COVID-19 cases on the rise in Rochester, Olmsted County, and really across the globe, we're gearing up to provide you the best team coverage. In the next 30 minutes, KIMT News 3's Jessica Bringy and KIMT News 3's Alex Dieterer will be in the field bringing you the latest, most up-to-date information about the coronavirus in our corner of the world. And that is indeed where we begin. Public health officials are on the record telling KIMT News 3 COVID vaccines shouldn't be the only vaccination on our collective mind this season. KIMT News 3's Alex Dieterer has more on what we can expect this flu season. Hi, Alex.
That's right, George. I'm outside a local Hy-Vee where just an hour ago I received my flu vaccine. I checked in with public health officials on why the coronavirus vaccine should not be the only vaccination on our minds this season. As masks seem to be making a comeback here in the Med City amid increased COVID rates, the word vaccination is everywhere. Public health nurse manager Leah Espinda-Brandt told me,
you know, it's not only COVID vaccine. I think it's also time to talk about vaccines in general because we know because of the pandemic, many people missed their routine vaccinations.
Leah said through the pandemic, there has been a decrease in routine back-to-school vaccinations. With kids heading back to the classrooms and the rapid spread of the Delta variant, the flu vaccine could be a much more pivotal piece come this summer.
The flu is a different disease than COVID, and they have very similar symptoms. And so we want to prevent the flu, which will also impact the resources that right now we are using for the COVID vaccine. Or the COVID disease. We're spending lots of resources in the hospitals, getting people vaccinated, testing, that type of thing. And so if we can minimize the flu, that will help impact the burden on the healthcare systems.
Local Hy-Vees are now offering drive-through flu vaccinations, Tuesdays and Thursdays 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're outside a local Hy-Vee where you can drive through and get your flu vaccine right before influenza season starts.
This past year and a half, we've done everything we can do to try to stay healthy, and getting a flu shot this year is one of the best things that you can do. So today is the very first day of our drive-through flu shots. We'll show you how easy it is.
People can drive right up to the Hy-Vee outdoor tent, fill out some basic paperwork, and receive the flu vaccine. No appointment needed.
All right, there you go.
As of last Saturday, Hy-Vee is now offering a free third COVID vaccine dose to those who are severely or moderately immunocompromised. The CDC offers a list of which individuals it recommends to receive this third dose. Leah said physicians are a great resource for information about vaccinations.
We know that Olmsted County already has a very high percentage of COVID vaccinated community members, but we're continuing, we're not stopping. We'd like to have 100%.
Hy-Vee is offering drive-through flu vaccines 3 days a week. Live in Rochester, Alex Dieterer, KIMT News 3.
Thank you, Alex. Now, Leah told KIMT News 3 masks and social distancing will impact the rate of this upcoming influenza season.
A mask mandate is in effect for Rochester as Mayor Kim Norton signed a declaration of local emergency for the city this morning.
Yeah, masks are being required in all buildings where children 12 and under are present and where there are immunocompromised individuals as well. KIMT News 3's Jessica Bringy joins us live in downtown Rochester with reaction to the big announcement. Jessica.
George and Amy, I spoke to about a half a dozen people down here around the Mayo Clinic, and while many of them tell me they are tired of wearing a mask, a majority do say they believe it's necessary to wear a face covering indoors in high transmission areas. Now, this current mask mandate in Rochester is in effect until Friday at 10:15 a.m., at which point the Rochester City Council will decide whether to continue it through October 18th. Many visitors and locals I spoke with say they believe masking is the simple and right thing to do, but others simply don't believe in the science.
We don't believe in that. We don't walk that way.
I think that we really have to follow a mask mandate until we get the COVID virus under control, and especially with the new Delta variant. So its infection rate is telling its own story.
The city does say another reason for the mask mandate is, of course, because the Med City does live in the shadow of the Mayo Clinic, and there are thousands of visitors coming in daily, many with underlying health conditions, and they say they need to make sure those visitors feel safe. Live in Rochester, Jessica Bringy, KIMT News 3.
Thanks, Jessica. The mandate requires masking in schools and city-owned buildings as well as grocery stores.
And again, this emergency order in effect until Friday morning, when it will then be up to the City Council to decide whether to carry it forward. Well, the Minnesota Department of Health reports 3,054 new COVID cases and 3 more deaths. That's bringing the total case count to above 629,000 and the death toll to nearly 8,000. The positivity rate now stands at 5.2%. But on the positive side, the rate seems to be plateauing after significant jumps in the last few weeks. The latest data from MDH showing almost 70.5% of we Minnesotans 16 and older have gotten at least 1 dose of a COVID-19 vaccine.
Well, here's something we can all be happy about: the weather, that sunshine, the warmth, just a nice summer day. Yeah. Let's check in with KIMT Storm Team 3 Chief Meteorologist Aaron White. And Aaron, I know there's a huge wildfire in northeastern Minnesota. Will that affect the air quality?
I would say, we may see some decrease in the air quality as we go towards the end of the week, as we get towards, I would say more so Thursday. We're seeing a lot of that smoke from that wildfire burning in the arrowhead of Minnesota, moving more so into parts of Canada. But some of that smoke from the western wildfires may move in as we get towards Thursday. Right now, though, we're looking at a fair amount of sunshine, a partly cloudy sky, 80 degrees in downtown Rochester. We got 84 in Mason City, so looking at a pretty warm evening out there across North Iowa, and temperatures generally are into the lower to middle 80s, a few upper 70s in Preston and Osage. And going through to this evening, if you're going to be maybe hitting the links or just taking the dog out for a walk, we're calling for temperatures to be into the mid to upper 70s as we head towards about 7 and 8 o'clock. Now, as we get towards the end of the work week, I'm tracking some pretty good rain chances, maybe a few thunderstorms out there as well. I'll talk more about that coming up in your 7-day forecast.
All right, thanks, Aaron. Still to come, Zumbro Valley Health Center, a private nonprofit providing services to Olmsted County, is pulling out of an important county program. The reasons for that decision straight ahead.
Plus, Iowa airports get a much-needed financial boost thanks to the state aviation program, how that money will be used at Mason City's airport. Later in the show, the Iowa State Fair is back. Enjoy all the cheese curds, elephant ears, funnel cakes, and fried Oreos. But did you know you can also get a COVID-19 vaccination? We'll have more after the break.
KIMT News 3 at 5. Your local news with KIMT News 3's Amy Fleming and George Mallet. Tracking storms with Storm Team 3 Chief Meteorologist Aaron White. This is KIMT News 3. More local news that is happening now from your community. We are coverage you can count on.